See, my involvement in cardiovascular research stemmed when I came to United States for studies. And there, after my PhD in pharmacology, I got interested in pursuing the academic career in United States. So I was appointed as assistant professor there in St. Louis. And then I think during that period, I became that I am going to find solution to problems with heart failure. So I think I pursued that career because before that, the only people knew about heart failure was that there's a problem in energy production or energy utilization, and there's a defect in the contractile proteins. Okay, that the contractile proteins were defective, and that's why there's a heart failure. I took a departure from that, and I was first to demonstrate that the heart membranes get into problem, and that's why there's a heart failure. So membrane defect I defined there with respect to the cell membrane. It's called sarcolemma, and there's the inside membranes, tubular membrane, and called sarcoplasmic reticulum, and also there's a mitochondria. So I defined that there is some changes occur in these organelles, and that's why heart failures. And that kept me going this. But this led to a very interesting concept that not only contractile proteins were defective, but other organelles were defective too. And this led to the defect in the I defined a new mechanism, new hypothesis that there occurs a subcellular and molecular basis of heart failure. And that kept me going. In fact, that led to the identification of intracellular calcium handling abnormalities in heart disease in general. Wherever there is a heart problem, the intracellular calcium handling was abnormal. And that's what kept me going in my research. You see, I moved from St. Louis to Canada in Manitoba, Winnipeg, in '68. And I then stayed here, and then one opportunity after the other came there. So I got involved with three major organizations and developing them. And my first was International Society for Heart Research. I joined that group, about 30 people at that time, and I developed that organization into a worldwide things, more than 5,000 members at that time. So I served that organization, International Society for Heart Research, for 17 years as a Secretary General, and then about 9 years as a president and past president and president-elect. So it was a very good opportunity for me to that organization, and that organization became world's leading organization in translational medicine. And that I was very honored to be part of that. But I'm not the only person who helped developing it, although I named that organization. International Society for Heart Research. But there were other, my colleagues, I had very, very good people around me, and they also helped me are developing. But when I finished in my term in 1996, then a lot of people said that, well, look, I have promoted cardiovascular research in all over the world, including Chinese section. There was a Japanese section, there was an Indian section, there was North American section, there was a South American section, there was a European section. So I developed that this, and they said that yes, research I have been committed to our development, but what is not I did was two things. One is prevention of heart disease, and second was that I did not promote education. So we opened about 50 people all over the world. They really wanted me to take over and start a new organization. So I started a new organization called International Academy of Cardiovascular Sciences. And International Cardiovascular Sciences Academy then done an absolutely great job. I mean, there is I can't even believe that it happened. There are 6 Nobel laureates who became a member of that organization, International Academy of Cardiovascular Sciences. You name the words who's who, and they became important people involved with International Academy of Cardiovascular Sciences, and it's doing very, very well all over the world. We have more than 3,500 members of that organization, and so yeah, I still continue as the executive director. But after about number of years, they elected me as their honorary life president because they thought I have done a good job. So this was another organization. So this then I thought I should do something my own province and own country in Canada here. I set up opportunity came, and I set up the Institute of Cardiovascular Sciences. You won't believe it. It was a real challenge. It was a challenge to recruit a lot of people. First, they said it started from I convinced the government of Canada to set up a center of excellence in cardiovascular research, and I had to compete for that. In 1978, they set up a center of excellence with me in Winnipeg, and we were very honored. They gave me 6 faculty positions. That made University of Manitoba really got excited, and St. Boniface General Hospital got excited. So they made a building for our place for the Institute of Cardiovascular Sciences. So I recruited 22 faculty members, and that was a very, very good. I think how did I do that? I think the very best advisors I had. I always had good relationship with people, and I think just good people were very kind to me, and they tried to help me in building the very best people in the institute. So that's how we came to. But I think this gave me the idea of building was that I had a passion for building relationship with people to promote cardiovascular sciences, and I was very much committed to promote the scientific basis of practice of cardiology. Very much committed. I thought that the science in practice of cardiology is not very much is of classical nature. It had to be brought to a modern level. So we talked about it with very many people and all that. So we sought, got the cooperation and collaboration of people in building this society and building the institute. I genuinely believe in training people because I believe that the training was a very important aspect. Training of graduate students, training of postdoctoral fellows, training of some people who have not gotten opportunity in their countries to the modern technology, and so that's what I have been doing, and I think this was all these successes in my building these societies were based on my ability to persuade people that let me help you, and if I could be very nice to help them, I think I was honored. But I traveled to China, for example, about 6, 7 times. I traveled to in those days, Soviet Union was there about 17 times to Soviet Union and to remarkably to the Eastern Europe. Many times so it there are holes in my head. In order to convince people that that heart disease is an important problem, we must know each other. So I will go and give lectures to them and all that, and so things worked out very, very well. I think you asked me this very difficult question, but I tell you, all the questions you are asking me were really very challenging for me to give you an answer. But I think it's a not easy task to be editor of any journal. And I was given this opportunity by some people and to build. I never wanted to do it. But I think my administration here, the president of the university said, there is no international journal which is being done in Canada. So why not I take this opportunity? I told him that I'm neither a molecular biologist nor a good chemist. I can't take it. I don't have expertise. He said, no, you are a good manager. And so I think it's important that I should try. So I accepted this position. But before accepting this, I think it's important to build a very good relationship with the publishers. Very good. This is a very key for the editor to have a very good and draw the circles of limits. What sort of things you want to do? Ensure that you are very independent. Ensure that you have a support of the publisher, and ensure that they will cooperate with you when you take certain decision. The only thing which editor is a very sensitive job. Several people asked me that wanted to get me to the court. They wanted a lawsuit against me because I turned down their paper, and they did not agree with anything. So I think an editor should have some sort of a coverage, in my judgment, with the publisher, that in case of any lawsuit, there should be share the burden together and not the editor himself. So this was a very good, it's important to build a good journal. You have to have a good relationship between publisher and the editor. So this is one aspect. Then there is I believe that the is important for the editor to select a very appropriate and highly qualified individuals for the editorial board. That's a very essential. Also, they should the editor should advertise the journal mission and objectives very clearly by publishing high quality science, both through the different societies, all right, different societies, any journal. They, for example, if there's a neuroscience journal, they should have a neuroscience societies backing them up. And also develop personal relationship by attending very many conferences which are in the area of that. That very critical, and build relationships in such a way that you promote the journal in a very personalized style. So I think that's what I did, and it turned out to be very successful. And then I believe that the one should write, editor should write various experts that for papers and all that, and use his personal persuasion and relationship with people to get good paper to begin with, and this will help to set the standard of high quality. See, the quality of papers publication should be the prime motive, and so you invite some people, and then there is always most of the good editorial board member will have expressed their views, their own things, and they may not agree with the authors, but I think the obligation of an editor is that he is a sort of a liaison person between the reviewers and the authors, and he is a very delicate balance between them. But some paper had to be done because their data is poor. One should never publish that type of thing. One should also try to identify fraud, because a lot of people give papers which are not authenticated by the institution. So one should at times even contact the various institutions from where those papers are coming, not complaining about them, but asking them that if something is correct or something or not. But one has to be very careful about handling authors and all that. And so editor has in my judgment, a great responsibility, but he should deal with people with tremendous compassion and gentleness, rather than in a very harsh that, hey, this is not good. That you cannot say it anybody. Everybody is doing something good. All right? Because I think it all depends on who look at it. So editor has to understand that people who have worked hard to submit a paper, they also must have done good, unless your reviewer identify there's something wrong is happening. It does not make sense. The data seems to be fraudulent and all that. So that, I think, major problem is the identification of fraudulent papers. But there's no problem with respect to authenticated paper. I think most of the people are very honest. But there are a lot of universities, a lot of academic organizations which fund the research. They are putting a lot of pressure on people for publication. So they come up with a data which is not good. So that need to be, I think, Yes, anybody can make mistakes, but that need to be properly identified. So auditor's job is not a one way that, hey, you are a great scientist and you could be good. I think a public relation is a very important aspect of the editorship.
Yeah.
I think this, there were people who did some aging work very nicely, but a lot of work need to be done. Not very much work has been done with cardiovascular aging. For example, if I tell you, we do not know anything about the vasculature. Very little we know about the vascular, how they age, all right, system. And this is a very important, particularly this is important for for the for peripheral disease. Peripheral disease is a very interesting thing, and I think aging affect vascular disease in such a way that it affects your walking ability. The skeletal muscle get into problem, the heart get into problem because maybe the capillaries are not keeping up with the heart things. They are not, the stem cell are not generating enough thing for vasculature and for other things which may not be working. And I tell you, with respect to heart, aging heart, although everybody knows that it's going to be failure, everybody knows that is going to be loss of cardiocytes are there, apoptosis is there, and all that. But what is not known about this is extracellular matrix. I think extracellular matrix is a very, very critical. I think the future coming 5 to 10 years will be preoccupied with the identification of defects in extracellular matrix, particularly with a lot of cytokines and inflammation and this oxidative stress. These type of things will be very important in aging. So I think even how about if I tell you, even the profile of hormones, different vasoactive hormone which lead to cardiac dysfunction is really not known. So the relationship between brain and heart is really untouched area in cardiovascular aging. It's a very, very critical. You people were very smart in having this journal for cardiovascular aging. I think you people had a vision that this journal will be one day very, very good, and it will be. So there were a lot of areas which need to be done. There, not only for example, intracellular organelles get remodeled during aging, but the signal transduction mechanisms, there is a loss of adrenergic receptors, maybe loss of angiotensin receptor, loss of other receptors, and signal transduction mechanism become abnormal. So, and there is a tremendous opportunity for metabolic processes and for even developing new therapies. How about if I tell you that even antioxidants, right antioxidant, could be very helpful, their pharmacology. Pharmacotherapy of cardiovascular disease is just based on, of aging, is based on our data with people, with adults. So not only that, I think the cardiovascular aging in women is very different than because women do live longer than men. Why? So there must be something going on that control that things. Maybe we should learn that, gender differences in aging. So woman heart health is not known in cardiovascular aging. I think woman heart health is a good thing. Even otherwise, people have always ignored woman heart health, but women get into very many problems. Up to woman health is okay up to uh, uh, men, menstruation period when they're okay, but after that, after menstruation, they get into the same cardiovascular problems. So there is an excellent opportunity for people to get into cardiovascular health, and particularly with respect to women, heart health, with respect to the relationship between brain and heart for hormone things, and with respect to vascular system is a very, very interesting in cardiovascular system. Boy, I think I'm too old. I think young people are too smart than I could ever be. I was not a very smart man. I'm dedicated person, but young people have a very, very good ideology. And I think my suggestion to them is that there is no buts about it, that you need to do hard work. If you want to be a scientist, whether you're young or this, there has to be a hard work, and you have to have a passion and commitment to discover something in this devastating problem. All right. Then you have to have a spirit of sacrifice. Research is a very different than other professions, and one has to, and everybody else is going to have, enjoying games or TV or this or that. You have to work on stupid what sort of things are happening, whether cardiac remodeling happening, or is there any target for this or not. So at the same time, I think the prime factor to be a good investigator, in my judgment, is honesty and integrity. There's an experiment with truth, and that concept must be upheld. The truth must be revealed, and you cannot see the truth unless you yourself, your character has a tremendous honest approach, and you develop yourself own integrity. You cannot see the truth. You have to develop a tremendous amount of feeling for not only compassion and commitment, but also spirit of sacrifice. All right. I think young people are too smart for me. They know what to do. But I tell you, most of the people are having a good time. But research is a reward comes with that, but with tremendous amount of work. It's not easy. Very difficult thing to do. It's just like somebody, went on painting or making a sculpture. They can work hard, but they don't know whether people will appreciate it or not. So the reward is very distant away. So it takes time. But I think young people, I'm very optimistic that there will be young people who will be very curious to find out things which are novel. Look, medical science is about 50 years behind, in my judgment, than the, let's say, space information technology. Let's say the space technology. People have gone to moon. They have done everything. We are much behind. We even don't know anything. Even we don't even know how headache take place. You know, that's the honest truth.